We are going to discuss, these are the areas we are going to discuss: the definition of neoclassicism and the main characteristics, main figures. So, definition: neoclassicism comprised a return to the classical models, literary styles, and values of ancient Greek and Roman authors. Neoclassicism refers to a broad tendency in literature and art enduring from the early 17th century until around 1750. So let us discuss about the characteristics of the neoclassicism or the features. Number one, as already mentioned, classical values. The neoclassicists' emphasis upon the classical values of objectivity, impersonality, rationality, decorum, balance, harmony, Aristotelian notions of probability and unities. The neoclassicist might be thought of as heirs to the Aristotelian notion of probability as well as the unities of action, time and place. Nature of literature. The neoclassical writers reaffirmed literary composition as rational and rule-bounded process. So please take a note of it. The neoclassicists, they reaffirmed literary composition. The literary work should be rational and rule-bounded process. Next characteristics, the literary forms. The neoclassicists tended to insist on the separation of poetry and prose. Imitation and nature. Two of the concepts central to the neoclassical literary theory and practice were imitation and nature, which were intimately related. Imitation, the imitation of classical models, especially Homer and Virgil. Nature, the harmonious and hierarchical order of the universe, including the various social and political hierarchies within the world. So, some of the characteristics again we are discussing: imitation and nature. What is imitation? It is exactly the copy of the classical models, and nature, the harmonious and hierarchical order of the universe. And nature had a deep moral significance in neoclassical writing, and deep moral significance comprehending the models of action that were permissible and excluding certain actions as unnatural. Clearly, the neoclassical vision of nature was very different from the meaning later given to it by the Romantics. So the main figures, as we discussed: John Dryden, Alexander Pope, Samuel Johnson. Now let us check it out. John Dryden's contribution. John Dryden, we can expect question definitely. The neoclassicist writers. John Dryden occupies a seminal place in English critical history. Samuel Johnson called him the father of English criticism. So John Dryden is known as the father of English criticism, and Samuel Johnson called him the father of criticism, and affirmed of his essay of dramatic poesy that modern English prose begins here. Next one, Alexander Pope. An essay on criticism published anonymously by Alexander Pope in 1711 is perhaps the clearest statement of neoclassical principles in any language. Samuel Johnson. Of his numerous achievements, Samuel Johnson is perhaps best remembered for his 2-volume Dictionary of the English Language, first published in 1755. Most equal renown are his Lives of the English Poets and his 8-volume edition of Shakespeare. Samuel Johnson, he published the first English dictionary, you can see here.